we definitely do hope that you all are okay and that you survive the darkness of the eclipse. For us, it was something that we wanted to take some time off from making videos and whatnot because just a few days. We needed to do some training that we have been putting out for a while, and we wanted to go up the mountains because bear season is around the corner, and quite honestly, it is time to start seeing the snow and whatnot and make sure that I can put the trail cameras in to see what is moving and whatnot. So essentially, we did a lot of scouting during these days, and the weather was not good at all. It was not good at all. The first day I have to turn around because it was snowing so bad on the mountains that, you know, the roads were dangerous, to put it lightly. When you have snow and the temperatures go above 32, starts creating that slush, that is very unsafe for you to be driving on, unless you really have to. Then you're going to have to push, right? But for us, it was one of those things that, like, the exploders load up. We have all the boomsticks, just in case, because you never know. We have the pack, we had the water, we had the fuel, dogs, wife, kid, everybody just going. And, you know, like halfway through, we were like looking around, and we had the radio on, and we hearing the truckers, hey, roads are really bad. Roads are really bad. Sure enough, we got to that marker, and we're like, oh, damn. Let me turn around and reassess tomorrow. So the next day, bam, again, it's incredible how much of a difference one day does make. But nonetheless, second day we went up again. We made it way further. We still couldn't make it to the location itself because, again, it was just constantly snow. Third day we went to a different location now to, you know, scout for not bear but for caribou, see whether their caribou are moving or not. Well, different areas, completely different areas, opposite areas. But man, roads again, horrible. And of course, you know, during that time we're coming back, we doing other things, we going to the shooting range, practicing inside the house. In fact, I want to share with y'all one of the things that we were doing at home, and I encourage everybody to do it, to practice your fundamentals when it comes to handling a firearm. It's a very good thing to do, especially with your little ones. I'm going to leave it here so you guys can see it. So what are you doing?
Reloading practice.
All right, go for it.
Ready.
So what do you think? I think a little bit more training is needed, but I think he definitely got the handle on the reloading part. You know, it's funny because I did tell him, I was like, hey, you need to be able to reload fast, because if a bear comes to me, you the man now. You have to make sure that you are the one taking care of that bear. So he's taking everything very serious. Obviously, you saw him smiling and the video and whatnot, but that was because I had the phone out, you know, just recording him. And he, you know, practiced more and more and more and more. But those are things that you have to stop and you know, make sure that you're doing it. Make sure that you're doing it because, well, whether you use it or not, you better have the skills, right? And, you know, I thought about the whole eclipse thing, and I thought about the whole ordeal, and, you know, I'm not going to deny that I was not concerned. I was not concerned, you know, on the idea of something is going to come and grab you from the eclipse and all of that. No. I was more concerned on the idea of our government may use this to screw us over yet again. They may have something that they may want to implement. That's why I put a poll asking, do you think this is something that they want to, you know, reveal a new weapon to the world? Do you, you know, I give you different choices because those are the things that I think. And at the end of the day, I really did thought, I was like, this is going to be government doing something stupid like they always do. Communication possibly will be an issue. I will say this. Prior to the eclipse, the day prior to the eclipse, services in my area suck. It was throttled back like there was no tomorrow. The internet was throttled back like there was no tomorrow. So the services were congested. I did saw in the eclipse. It did not happen in Alaska, but I did saw maybe because of the weather, but people's driving became a little bit more reckless. Don't ask me why. It just happens. But those are the things that I start thinking. I was like, I think the population density, that is gonna increase in those areas, they're gonna present a problem. So why not be safe than be sorry? You get what I'm saying? If you want to see an eclipse, by all means. I saw one in Cuba years ago. Well, I've been here for a long time, so I saw this solar eclipse when I was in Cuba. And after I saw it, honestly, I was like, oh, this is a big deal. Oh my God. The second coming, no, it's not. It's just the moon passing in front of the sun, and that's it. Honestly, I don't see the big deal about it. You see once, you see it all. Honestly. But nonetheless, we took this time really to practice more than anything else. Because when Dee is working and Lassie's going to school and I'm doing the videos and the regular stuff around, we practice, but we don't practice as much. But when we dedicate X amount of dates just to do that, it pays dividends, to tell you the truth. Because then we sit back in our living room and we start like, well, what should we have done better? How about this? How about we leave everything in here ready to grab? Lass, what do you think? Was your pack heavier? That we did everything with the dogs okay? With the dogs' bag was okay? Was everything in there? That we needed anything? Do you think the water was sufficient? All of those things. Now, we always said in this channel, we never plan to bug out. In fact, we live in our bug out location. We moved from Florida to Alaska, and we make this our bug out location. We live outside town. We don't have to worry about, tons of people or anything like that. We are secluded enough that if you come into our property, it's because you want something from us, and you will get something from us. Very high speed. But you guys know what I'm saying. There's no need for anybody except if you know me or if you're my neighbor or something like that. There's no need to come into my property. So if somebody comes and that I don't know into my property, well, I take that individual as a threat and I will deal with it as such, as a threat. So, but yeah, that's my stand on all of this. I mean, I literally moved from Florida to Alaska, to Fairbanks, Alaska, to be in my permanent bug out location. Now, did I go to the woods and practice in the woods and whatnot, or the bush? That's how we call it here. Absolutely, all the time. Do I take drives to the mountains? Absolutely, all the time. I love doing that. I really do. Whether it's winter, whether it's summer, whether it's autumn, whether it's springtime, I don't care. I just love going and exploring. You know why? Because it ingrains the terrain in my head. And believe it or not, when it comes to that, I'd rather have everything in here than not in a map. In fact, I can tell you for a fact that the places that I go the most, I don't need a compass, I don't need a GPS, I don't need none of that stuff because I memorize pretty much everything, how the terrain looks like, everything. And that is what I encourage everybody to do. Learn the locations that you want to be at, whether it's for hunting, whether it's for fishing, whether it's for camping. Learn them. That way, well, if something happens, you are familiar with the terrain. That is an advantage that a lot of people not going to have over you. Essentially, what I'm saying is you're going to be ahead of the game. Plus, you're going to enjoy it. Trust me. You're going to enjoy it. A day in the woods, man, beats 100 times a day in the office. It don't matter what you do, man. It really does. It really, really, really does. So for now on, I told Dee that I was gonna, from time to time, take a few days. And I told her too, I was like, hey, you need to take a few days too. And we need to do this type of training. I really enjoy it. Even if it just put everything in the car and just go for a day or two. Camp out. Don't bring the RV. Do the old-fashioned way, a tent. Just to practice those skills. Now, when we go as a family thing, as a camping thing, as a hunt, a trip and whatnot, that we plan to stay there for 5 or 6 days a week, maybe 2 weeks or something like that, then of course I'm going to bring the RV. It makes more sense. But to do things like this, I encourage everybody to actually do it. It is something that it will help you. I say it helped me identify where I should do better. The things that I have to mitigate. And that's something that we all have to do. We all have to thrive to become better at. Where should I mitigate any issues that I may have in my plans? Because let me tell you, and I hear this all the time, I have a plan. Have you executed that plan? Have you put that plan into effect? Take, for example, one of the things that we did test out in bad weather, because the weather had been really bad now in this couple of days, our communication. I have been harping on the whole communication thing on the post for a little bit. It is very important for everybody to be in contact with your loved ones. Very important. I cannot emphasize that enough. If you don't know how your loved ones are doing, you essentially should keep in mind that, well, if I don't know, they're either okay or they're dead. That's the way I see it. So I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'd rather be in constant communication. That way I know that they are safe for sure, not 100%, not 50%. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm at. So we did some testing on our communication. I was pleasantly surprised the way it worked. I was not expecting 30 miles or anything like that, but I was pleasantly surprised the way they work under bad weather conditions. Really bad weather conditions. I mean, it was snowing really bad, and it worked. It worked to a distance that I found okay. So now I know the limitations in real life, the limitations that my radios and my communication have. So that's something that you should be doing, because your terrain is different than mine. If you live in a flat area, I guarantee you yours is going to be longer than mine. Mine is actually shorter because I have all of those obstacles in the way. But nonetheless, you have to make sure that you test your equipment. For example, let me give you one example before I let you all go, and so you can all do your things. When we go to the bear camp, there is a spot that we found because we were stopping everywhere, checking for cell phone signal. This is a elevated spot. They're only there. That's it. Only there for a 50-mile. In that spot, you have signal. Nowhere else. For almost 50 miles going one way and going the other way. That is what you're supposed to be doing. You need to be finding those sweet spots. Because that's what we do every time that we go out. Finding those little things, writing it down. Making sure that we have a log of everything. Because you never know what may happen tomorrow. Hopefully, you all had a great time during the eclipse. For us, it was a really good time because we spent it together. We spent it doing what we like doing. We are having a discussion. This Mrs. D did finally told me that she wants chickens. I did throw the idea of how about we build a coop, but instead of a coop for chickens, we quadruple our quails. And she looked at me and she's like, interesting. So that's something that we are contemplating. We're definitely going to build a coop. But she she's thinking about it too, because quails are a lot easier to handle than a chicken. And honestly, I live in a 2.5 acre lot. My neighbors are cool as hell. My zoning allows me to do all of those things. But the last thing that I need is a neighbor coming to my place and telling me, "Hey, Billy, you damn roosters are annoying the shit out of me." I don't want to create friction between my neighbors. And I live in a fairly older community. In fact, I think we are the youngest people who live in this community. So I don't want to ruff any feathers. And quails, honestly, they're very quiet. Very quiet. So we are considering it. We may actually go and speak to our neighbors to see what they think, if they will have any issues. Just to keep the peace, if you will. I'd rather do things that way. I know a lot of folks will say, "Well, it's your property. You do whatever heck you want." I can do that. But what is the point of me doing that? And when I leave my property to do a hunt, to do a fishing trip or whatever, then I don't have the eyes of my neighbors looking after my stuff. I might as well have a friendship. You see what I'm saying? And people who look after what I have and not have that worry in the back of my head. So if one person tells me, "I don't know, Billy. I mean, roosters are a pain in the butt," I might just go with hens. If I see there's going to be too much of a problem, then I will increase the quails. I'm fine with that too. That's not a problem. Quiet animals don't bother anybody. Quails are one of those things. Roosters, unfortunately, that's a different story. Again, I can do it. I just don't want to create friction. Do I think they're going to have issues? I don't think so. But you never know. Like my neighbor, for example. I keep giving you things, right? My neighbor, when he was going to do his honeybees, he came to me and he's like, "Hey, Billy, I'm planning to get bees. Would you have a problem? Are you allergic to any or anything like that?" And I was like, "No, man, no, of course not. Go ahead. I mean, you definitely gonna help me with my garden and whatnot." And he was so thankful. And those are the things when you building a community. It's like building a community. That's what it is. Building a community. You have to talk to those around you. So that's what I'm gonna be doing, for the chickens and whatnot. And same as my neighbor did with me with the honeybees. So it's just courtesy. If one says, "I don't know," then I do a whole bunch of quails, and that's it. And nobody will ever know what do I have in there, because I will do a nice coop, a insulated coop, and then I will put a heater in there, for winter time or whatever. They do create a little dust, a lot of dust, but I will make it comfortable. Make it very comfortable. So that is it for today. I hope you all had a great weekend. I hope y'all did not close yourself in the house and just got scared of the eclipse. I saw a lot of people online going they were making comments, and when it comes to religious and whatnot. Honestly, we are gonna have to face the Almighty one day. We are gonna have to put everything, our good deeds and our bad deeds, in a scale, and we will be judged. But my advice to you is do good no matter whom you do good to, and go from there. That's all. We're all humans. We're all gonna make mistakes somehow, some way. Shoot, I know that I have made more mistakes than probably a lot of you. So we will cross that road when the time comes, I guess. But yeah, go practice, and I think that's it for today, right? I keep chatting away for like almost 20 minutes. I know, that's what happens when you guys don't see me for a few days. I get chatty. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Like I was rock on, prep on, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye everybody.